course, I will show you what are the differences between the English past participle and the German Partizip perfect. Hi, my name is Jan and I'm your German teacher here on EasyDeutsch, your YouTube channel for German grammar. Today's topic is Partizip 2, also called Partizip perfect, or in English, past participle. And with the help of my ebook, I will show you now everything you have to know. So let's switch into my ebook. So here now in my ebook, German Grammar Explained Easily. Today's topic is the past participle or the Partizip 2, Partizip Präsens. So let's go through my table of content and quickly jump there. That was too far. There we go. So let's zoom in. So the past participle, or in German Partizip 2, is the equivalent to the English third form of the verb. You've probably seen that one. Go and gone would be in German gehen, ging, gegangen. This is the infinitive, go. This is the Präteritum version, simple past went. And this is the past perfect, Partizip perfect, Partizip 2. So we are talking about this third version in German here today. But before we have a look at how to create it, we have a look at when to use it. And that's very similar to English. So first we use it for perfect tense, perfect plusquamperfekt, so it's the past perfect, and also the future too, which is the future perfect, and the passive voice. So let's have a look at one example per use case. Du bist nach Hause gegangen. You have gone home. It's not always what you would say in English, but this is the exact translation. You have gone home. Plusquamperfekt, war nach Hause gegangen. So he had gone home. Future 2, Futur 2, bis morgen wird das Auto repariert sein. So until tomorrow, the car will have been repaired. So repaired third version. Zustandspassiv, so special state passive voice. Das Fenster ist geöffnet. So the window is opened. Vorgangspassiv, so process passive, das Haus wird geputzt. So the house is being cleaned. You see here, it is used in a similar way in English. You need this third version of the verb in English here as well. And we also use it, just like in English, as an adjective instead of a subordinate clause if two actions do not occur at the same time. Parkt jetzt das geputzte Auto. So he's parking now the cleaned car. So the first action was the cleaning and the second action is parking. So hat das Auto geputzt, so he has cleaned the car. And now, second action, parkt das Auto jetzt, so he's parking the car now. This is important because if it's happening at the same time, you have to use the present participle, the Partizip 1. If you don't know what that is, or if you want to know more about it, check out the link in the info card. There will link my video about the present participle in German for you. So now that we have figured out when to use it, so pretty much the same like in English, we will have a look how to create it. Here we have to differentiate between regular verbs and irregular verbs. And we do this regular in present tense. So this is the regular construction, and it's separated between regular verbs in present tense and irregular verbs in present tense. They have different construction here of their past participle. So let's have a look first at the ones that do not change anything in the present conjugation. So where there's no vowel change. And those ones get the GE in front, then we put the verb stem there, and then we put a T or an ET. So for example, machen, here we do not change to the version. So that's why it's gemacht, so GE plus T here. And arbeiten, again, doesn't change anything, so gearbeitet. So here GE plus ET. Why ET? Because the verb stem ends in D or T. So that's why we have to add another E here, because double T would change the pronunciation, and DT as well. So that's why we have to add this E here in between. But if there's no T, no D, it's just the T. And also, very important, all verbs that end in iren don't get the GE in front. So for example, organisieren is organisiert. So no GE, we just add the T or, yep, just this and nothing else. So that's very important. So now for the irregular ones. Irregular in present tense. Again, it's not the irregular creation of the past participle. It's just the irregular or strong verbs in the present tense. So the moment you have a vowel change in the present conjugation, like in fahren. Fahren is du fährst. We still use the GE. At the end, we do not put the T, we put an EN there. So for example, fahren is du fährst, so no T, but EN, gefahren. Schlafen is du schläfst, so with the L, and here geschlafen. So this is the regular creation of the past participle Partizip 2. And again, just to stress it one more time, I'm talking about regular and irregular present tense conjugation. And regular in present tense means T ending. Irregular or strong verb in present tense means EN ending. So now let's continue to the irregular construction of the past participle. Because of course, like in every language, not all words do what the rule is telling them. They have their own rules. So let's have a look at the so-called mixed verbs. Mixed verbs, gemischte Verben, use the Partizip 2, not the regular stem of the present tense, but the preteritum stem. So it's GE plus the preteritum verb stem plus T. Bringen in preteritum is brachte, so gebracht. Brennen is brannte, gebrannt. Kennen is kannte, so gekannt. And unfortunately, there are no specific rules which verb use this version and which verb use the normal version. You have to know. But the thing is, usually Germans know the preteritum version of those verbs and they don't know the preteritum versions of verbs that don't use this thing here. So if you listen to this quite often, you can be quite sure that this is the same here in the perfect tense. It's something you simply have to know, but it looks more difficult than it actually is because you use perfect tense where you need this Partizip 2 all the time in German. So this will become quite natural quite quickly. So additionally to the mixed verbs, there are also some verbs with vowel changes. You know this vowel change from the strong verbs already. And vowel, just a quick reminder, those are the letters A, E, I, O, and U. The rest are so-called consonants. And some of those verbs change them in their past participle form of the verb. What makes it easier for you to figure it out is usually those words also change their vowel in presence as well. So they have this vowel change in the present tense as well, in the second and third person. Remember, if you want a quick reminder, check out the video in the info cards. And additionally to those ones, also the double vowel EI almost always change to the opposite version, so to IE in the past participle. Let's have a look at a few examples here. So always remember, from the regular construction, everything that changed the vowel takes the EN ending. And this applies here as well. So they cannot have the T ending because they are changing a vowel. So helfen, for example, changed to geholfen. The E becomes a O. In present tense, it's an I. In the past participle, it's an O. Don't ask me why. It's like this. You have to learn that. And that's why my recommendation is always, if you have a vocabulary sheet, make separate ones for the different types of words. For example, adjectives, nouns, and verbs. Nouns always have to have the article, for example, so that you know if it's neutral, masculine, or feminine, and the plural version. And verbs have to have the different forms here. For example, they have to have, if it's a reflexive verb. If you don't know what that is, check out the info cards. They have to have the past participle here if it's a special form and maybe en or a t ending. And you should put the preteritum version there too, because if you have this all together, it's much easier to actually remember it later, because that's a visual approach which works much better than just having every word single written down somewhere and then you have to figure it out all together. It's much easier if you have all the information just connected to each other. That's why I highly recommend it to do word-specific vocabulary sheets for verbs, adjectives, nouns separated from each other. Because then you can also put those irregular ones here, for example, nehmen, change to something completely different, genommen. There's pretty much just the N and one M. Equal schreiben. Here we have the example for the double vowel EI, changing to IE. Geschrieben. And that's almost always the case with a verb like this, but again, almost. It may look a little bit difficult at a first glance, but due to the use in almost every sentence that's talking about the past, you will get used to this quite quickly. I haven't encountered many people who actually have a problem with this, despite it looking a little bit hard at the beginning. Where you have to pay attention is separable verbs or compound verbs. If you don't know what that is at all, check out my video in the info cards where I will explain everything to you. Here we have an additional prefix, and like the name suggests, this goes in front of the past participle, Partizip 2. So you put the prefix, then you put the GE, then you put the verb stem, and then you put the T or EN ending. So einschlafen is eingeschlafen, aufräumen, aufgeräumt, anbringen, angebracht. So fall asleep, to clean, and to put on a wall something. So here, the rest, the creation of the past participle stays the same. You just add the prefix in front. With inseparable verbs, you simply do not use the GE. So we drop the GE for inseparable verbs, just use the prefix, then the verb stem, then the T or EN ending. Besuchen goes to besucht, verstehen, verstanden, so to visit, to understand, so visited and understood. Here, no GE anymore, but the rest remains the same. Now you know all the secrets of the German past participle. I promise you, like I've mentioned several times, it looks harder than it actually is. I don't know really anybody who has troubles with this, because you have to use it all the time when you're actually using German, when you speak German. But nevertheless, if you have any further question, please do not hesitate to ask them in the comment section below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit this thumbs up button. And if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to support me even further, sharing the video with your friends is always a great support. Thank you for that. But if you want to support me even financially, you can buy the ebook that you've just seen here in this video. The link to this you will find in the video description below. There you will also find the link to all of his friends, because I have more than 10 ebooks about the German grammar where I explain to you everything in the easy to understand way from a student's perspective. So check it out, you will find the link in the video description. And then I hope I will see you again in one of my other videos. And until then, viel Spaß und Erfolg beim Deutschlernen.